Tonight's the night. Hello, Dexter fans, and welcome to my next Dexter Resurrection Season 1 episode review video, which I was able to watch the episode early on the YouTube Paramount Plus channel. Before I talk about that, though, pretty important. If you haven't watched the original 8 seasons of Dexter, the 1 season of Dexter New Blood, the first 5 to 10 minutes of the first episode of Dexter Original Sin, and these last 5 episodes of Dexter Resurrection, then I highly recommend that you don't watch this detailed review any further to avoid any potential spoilers. And if you're new to this channel or finding this channel out for the first time, welcome to the channel where we love talking about Dexter. So join me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man in the comment section to discuss this awesome and amazing show. With that said, this will be Dexter Resurrection Season 1, Episode 5. The title of this episode is called Murder Horny, and this will be my review reaction recap after just finishing watching the episode. We start things off with Harrison seeing Dexter. How did you find me? Dexter says he'll answer all of his questions, just not here. Now, I thought Harrison would think that this was a hallucination for at least a few minutes, but no, they kind of go right into things. And then they go back to Dexter's place at Blessings, and then Dexter tells Harrison he came here to watch over him. How the fuck are you alive? Good question. Cold weather slowed his heart rate, and he didn't bleed out, and then mentions to Harrison that he was in a coma for 10 weeks. Harrison says Dexter's like a goddamn horror movie villain. Michael Myers or the guy in a hockey mask. They don't actually reference Jason Voorhees, but they say hockey mask, so that little disappoints me a little. And then Dexter's like, there are certainly some similarities. And then Dexter says he's not in jail because Chief Bishop, Angela Bishop, cleared him of all charges because Logan actually shot at him and he was unarmed. And then Harrison's like, you have no idea what that day in the woods did to him. And then it was me. I made you shoot me. I shouldn't have done that. I told you where to shoot me, right in the heart. And then Dexter says he knows about Ryan Foster. And then we have a flashback to Dexter Original Sin, the guy that tried to sexually assault Aunt Deb. I felt the same darkness when I was your age. I was 20 years old when I had my first kill. And Harrison says he's in hell and has nightmares about Ryan Foster. He can't carry this guilt. Maybe you were not as alike as I thought. And then Harrison also mentions he talked to Angel Batista. He implied that Dexter trained him. Dexter says Batista's just trying to manipulate him. Dexter asked to carry the watch Harrison has been holding on to, the Ryan's watch that he keeps hearing the ticking. And Harrison says, what makes you think I want you back in my life? And then Harrison leaves. Harry says it's going to take more than just a conversation. So we have annoying brat Harrison back from Dexter New Blood, and to start this episode at least. And then we have Leon Prater, who's paid off his he's interviewed by the real Leslie Stahl, and there's a talk about him paying off his first foster family's mortgage when he made his first $1 million in an interview, but he really doesn't want to be known for any of his charitable work. He doesn't really want to go disclose that. And then Claudette Wallace calls Harrison back, as he had called her in the last episode. And he says he didn't really have anything for her. He just kind of called her, and then it's like, yeah, I don't really got anything. And she says we should meet in person. And Harrison reluctantly agrees to stop at the station because she was going to come to him. And then Dexter drops a passenger off before he mentions that Mia isn't bad looking. He calls Mia, asking her to go to a ballet. And she's like, ballet? I don't want to go to that shit. That's like a snooze fest sort of thing. So they have a bowling date. All those countless nights at his bowling alley, or at the bowling alley, are about to pay off. Now, I would have liked to seen a Dokes hallucination here with Dokes going, but that didn't happen. And then Dexter hits a spare, and then Mia, to win, hits a strike, which makes her the winner, of course. And Dexter says he's a bit rusty. And then Mia's glad that she found someone that likes bowling. And then Dexter tells Mia it's hard to find someone that sees the world like we do. And then Mia mentions that Lowell's a dick, and Dexter's narration says was a dick. And then we have Harrison talking to Claudette Wallace, mentions Stefan not going out of his way to give him information about Shauna. He tells her that he wants to talk to Shauna and just be like, hey, I'm sorry I didn't intervene in this situation. And Claudette, of course, isn't going to give him Shauna's number, especially since he's still a suspect. Then we have Leon Prater filming the interview with Leslie Stahl about his support. And Prater tells Leslie that both of his parents were killed by a drunk driver. I have to ask you, Leon Prater, who are you? Leslie Stahl says. And then we have Mia asking Dexter about a menage a trois. Dexter says, shouldn't the first time just be the two of us? And Mia says she met on the job. Collab on a kill. 2 against 1. Harry sarcastically says Lady Vengeance and the Bay Harbor Butcher teaming up. And then he says, when did teaming up with another killer work for you? Miguel Prado? Lumen? The legendary Crazy Coffee Man probably just went crazy with the Lumen reference. He loves Lumen in Season 5, which not a bad season, just not my favorite. And then Dexter's like, they weren't killers. They were just pretend killers. Well, he doesn't say that line, but he says they weren't killers. Not real ones. Mia would be different. Stop acting like you're on my side. Maybe I'll tell Mia who I really am. And then Blessing's mom has a fall and Dexter to the rescue. She's 84 years old and she's got a terminal illness, but she doesn't want to see it end in a tiny room with doctors and machines. Kind of reminds me of the Camilla situation from Season 3 of Dexter, where she just wanted that key lime pie thing. But Blessing's mom doesn't want to die alone. And then Charlie goes to see her mom, who's in a hospital. Dexter has ordered another blood slide box, but it's not big enough for Lowell's blood slide, because it's like a really large blood slide. And he uses Joy's marijuana hiding space for his his blood slide box with Lowell's blood slide in it. And then Harris, definitely at some point Dexter's going to get his original blood slide box back from Leon Prater. I think that's what's going to happen. And then Dexter calls Harrison, but he says he's not ready to talk. He has too much shit going on, like the Ryan Foster investigation. And then Dexter, on his nightcap with Mia, says he's always been a bit of a leg man. Dexter tells Mia he grew up in Miami. What else have you been hiding? And then Dexter's talking about the Dark Passenger, says it's not what you think. And Mia says, whatever it is, it's okay. And it would be fun to try it his way. Any driver will do. Mia tells Dexter she just enjoys killing and would kill anyone. She doesn't really have a code. Like the first few were the Lady Vengeance stuff, but she just kills whenever she has the need or urge to kill. So, yeah, that was kind of a curveball they just threw us. And then she mentions that society doesn't think that a woman could just enjoy murder, a victim that just fights back. Dexter asks if her victims were innocent. She says, the media labeled them predators, but I'm the predator. Let's do one of yours tonight. I've got a kill kit in my car, Dexter says. And then Harry says Mia was never the answer. Harrison is. Thanks, Dad. I'll take it from here, Dexter says. And then Mia tries to take a random car, your car, and Dexter says, wrong, SPUB. He says he's not ready to let someone into his process, and Mia says Dexter is a tease and what? I wasted all this time. I got all pretty for you. You know what? Call me when you're ready to do something. And Mia says he's got her all murder horny, so I'm going to go and do my thing. When Harry's right, he's right. Killing 2 of Prater's killers would definitely raise suspicion. Mia goes to a bar to pick up her next victim. Dexter watches Mia's place from above. He goes in there first. And she tells her pickup, lose the clothes and I'll get us drinks. And then she tells him that's why you have to die, and then hits him with a wine bottle. And then Dexter from above outside on this balcony calls the police about Mia's happy time. She tells her potential victim, you're going to be my first kill in New York City. Just in time, the NYPD arrives. Mia's taken into custody by the NYPD, and we find out Dexter planted Ryan Foster's watch in Mia's trophy box. I knew that was going to happen. Not that I heard about it ahead of time. I just knew they showed that, and it made too much sense that Mia was going to get framed for Ryan Foster's murder. And then we have Melvin Oliva telling Claudette Wallace that she was right, a killer with a hero complex, just not the right killer, but they eventually got him anyway, or her in this case. And then Leon Prater watches his interview with Leslie Stahl. She mentions this would be a great place for a dinner party, and then Leon Prater says, you'd be surprised by who agrees to come to my humble abode. And then Charlie enters. She's found where Mia's being held, but there's a problem. I can't get to her, and the feds could move her at any moment. And then Leon Prater responds with, I heard you to make problems go away. Did I make a mistake? No, sir, you did not. And then Charlie leaves a little bit ticked off, it seems. And then we have our Angel Batista cameo in this episode. Not a long role in this one, but he watches a news conference about Lady Vengeance killing Ryan Foster, and he's all surprised by it, which means he's going to dig into it a little deeper. And then we see that he's got a bunch of stuff about the Dexter stuff, like tacked to the wall, like they do at the station. And then Elsa tells Harrison they found out who killed Ryan Foster. They found one of his things at her place. And then Harrison, after this, comes to Dexter's. Was it you? And then Dexter's like, I'm sorry if I overstepped your boundaries. And then Harrison wants to come in. And then Harrison's like, having a serial killer arrested doesn't sound like you. And Dexter says, yeah, no shit. I was recently reminded how important it is to have people in your life who truly know you. That's you, Harrison. Do I, though? Do I really, Harrison says. And then Dexter's like, I was so surprised when your mom loved me. When you were born, I was scared to death. I didn't know how to have a family and still be me. Trinity seemed like a devoted husband and father. And then we have a flashback to Dexter seeing Arthur Mitchell with his family in one of the early episodes of season 4. Like he was surprised that Trinity had a family. And then Dexter says, I thought I could learn from him. Stupid. I let the line blur between Trinity being my mentor and my target. After I killed him, then we had the flashback to Dexter taking out Trinity with his own hammer. I came home and discovered he'd already killed your mom. And then we do get the flashback to Dexter seeing Rita dead in the bathtub. And she died because of my selfishness, because of my mistake, and it broke me. And then Harrison says the truth, finally. What's to stop innocent people from dying again because of you? And Dexter says, I'm hoping the difference can be having you in my life. And then Harrison's like, but I'm not like you. And Dexter's like, I know, and I don't want you to be. Not anymore. And then Harrison says that you almost turned yourself, or Dexter says that you almost turned yourself into the cops, proves you have a goodness, a humanity that I never will. I wish I thought that. And then it's like, yeah, it's true that, and that's why I need you. I promise I won't try to mold you in my image ever again. I'm sorry, Harrison. I have so many reasons to kill, but you're my reason to live, Dexter says. I want a family. You're all I have. As Harry watches on, Harrison says, you're all I have too. And then they kind of touch each other's fingers. And then Harry says, you did good. And then Charlie goes to see Mia. The guard says, Mia says, I'll be talking to I thought I'd be talking to my lawyer. I didn't know you went to law school. And then Charlie's like, Harvard, of course you did. And then Mia says she knows she fucked up and she's not going to ask for help if that's what you're worried about. I'm certainly not going to do anything stupid like ask for money or make threats. And then Charlie says our mutual friend appreciates that and will make sure that your time here is as comfortable and short as possible. And that's what ends this episode of Dexter New Blood. So this was a step down in my opinion, but we had some interesting reveals in this particular episode. As far as my overall score of the episode, it was still good. It was still enjoyable. I'm going to give it an 8.3 out of 10. And my character of the episode, and remember, I don't usually give it to Dexter because, let's face it, Dexter's the character of every episode. I'm going to give it to Mia. She was pretty good in this episode, and the twist of her actually not really killing. She's not really somebody that, I mean, she killed some, people that were really, really bad, but then after that, after the first 3 or 4, it's just kill whoever's available to kill. So, okay episode though. So you've heard everything that I have to say. Now it's your turn. If you're a fan of Dexter, Dexter New Blood, Dexter Original Sin, or Dexter Resurrection, and you want to help me out with the YouTube algorithm, please make sure that you Hulk smash the like button. Otherwise, you'll have to end up on my table. Share this video with a friend. Put this video on any one of your social media platforms. Don't forget to sound off in the comment section. Interact with me and the legendary Crazy Coffee Man. I'm sure other Dexter fanatics will be in the comment section as well. I'm sure T. Parker Evans will eventually get there. Brad Hawk Talk, when he finally watches the episode, will be there. Vinny Lima will be there. All my Dexter fanatics. So make sure you interact with us in the comment section. We're all a part of the same community. And then last but certainly not least, don't forget to hit that sub button. Subscribe to the channel. Help me get over 100K subscribers. Yes, I know I set my goals pretty high. Join the team, show your damn support, and be a part of something special. And you never know what you're going to see on JDEV TV.